Africa. Imagine a train slicing through the heart of West Africa, its steel tracks gleaming under the relentless Sahel sun. This isn't just a train. It's a rebellion, a dream forged in iron, a middle finger to centuries of exploitation. In the vast, reddish-brown expanse of the Sahel, where the world once saw only dust and despair, a new heartbeat echoes. It's a rumble of change, the rhythm of hope, the sound of three nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, rising to rewrite their destiny. This is a story of a 1,200-mile railway, a lifeline connecting landlocked dreams to the open sea, built not by outsiders but by Sahelian hands. At its helm is a firebrand leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a young military man who's not just building tracks but laying down a new future for his people. Buckle up, this is no ordinary tale. It's a revolution on rails, and it's about to change the game. The Sahel, a land misunderstood. The Sahel isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Stretching across West Africa, the semi-arid region is a land of extremes, scorching days, starlit nights, and a resilience that runs deeper than its rivers. For too long, the world's story of the Sahel has been one of hardship, drought, conflict, poverty. But that's only half the tale. Beneath the surface lies a region bursting with potential, gold in Mali's mines, uranium in Niger's deserts, cotton and mangoes in Burkina Faso's fields. The problem? The wealth has always slipped through Sahelian fingers, funneled away by colonial powers and foreign companies through ports and roads designed to drain, not sustain. Picture Mariam, a farmer in a small Burkina Faso village. Her mango trees yield fruit so sweet it could make you cry, but getting those mangoes to market is a nightmare. The nearest port is 1,000 miles away, in a foreign country. The journey takes days, sometimes weeks, over crumbling roads. By the time her mangoes arrive, they are bruised, rotting, worthless. And even if they make it, the port's foreign operators charge fees that eat up her profits. This isn't just Mariam's story. It's a story of millions across Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Their lands are rich, but the system is rigged. The roads, the ports, the rules, all built by colonial powers to siphon wealth out of Africa. For centuries, the Sahel's treasures, gold, uranium, cotton, have enriched outsiders while its people stayed locked in a cycle of dependence. The chains of history. To understand the railway, you've got to understand the weight of history. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger were once part of France's colonial empire, carved up to serve Paris, not Bamako or Niamey. When independence came in the 1960s, the chains didn't break, they just changed form. Foreign companies still control the mines, the ports, the trade routes. The Sahel's wealth flowed out through coastal nations, where foreign powers held sway. High transport costs, slow routes, and predatory pricing kept these landlocked nations on a leash. They weren't poor because they lacked resources. They were poor because the system was built to keep them that way. Enter a new generation of leaders, fed up with the status quo. In Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a 30-something military officer, seized power in a 2022 coup driven by a vision of sovereignty. In Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta took charge, tired of foreign troops failing to deliver peace. In Niger, General Abdourahmane Chiani followed suit, echoing the same frustration. These weren't just power grabs. They were a collective middle finger to a world order that had kept their nations down. Together, they formed the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a pact to stand united against external threats and build a future on their terms. Their first move? Kicking out the French military, a bold slap at a former colonial power that had lingered too long. The West cried foul, predicting chaos, but the Sahel leaders didn't blink. They knew freedom wasn't just about armies, it was about economics. And that's where the railway came in. The Iron Dream takes shape. The idea was audacious. A 1,200-mile railway linking Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to a new port on the Atlantic, owned and controlled by the AES. No more begging for scraps at foreign ports. No more watching their wealth vanish down colonial-era roads. This railway would be a game-changer, a steel spine for a new Sahel, connecting mines, farms, and markets directly to the world. The route was a masterstroke. Starting at the Liptako-Gourma region, where the three nations' borders meet, a treasure trove of gold, lithium, and minerals. The tracks would snake through Burkina Faso's cotton fields, Mali's isolated villages, and Niger's grasslands, ending at a shiny new port. Unlike the old routes, built to bleed Africa dry, this railway was designed to keep the wealth at home. A truck that once took weeks to reach a port would now be outpaced by a train making the trip in days. For farmers like Mariam, it meant fresh mangoes hitting global markets. For miners, it meant more profit staying in the Sahel. For everyone, it meant jobs, growth, and pride. But dreams this big don't come easy. The price tag was staggering, the terrain unforgiving, the expertise scarce. Critics scoffed. Where's the money? Who's got the know-how? Captain Traoré didn't flinch. He rallied Mali and Niger's leaders, mapped out the route, and got to work. This wasn't just a railway, it was a declaration of independence. Captain Traoré, the man behind the mission. If this railway has a face, it's Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Young, no nonsense, and fiercely patriotic. He's a kind of leader who would rather wear fatigues than a suit. Born in the dusty town of Bondakri, Traoré rose through Burkina Faso's military, seeing firsthand the toll of foreign influence and internal strife. When he took power, his country was bleeding, terrorism, poverty, and a sense that hope was slipping away. Traoré refused to let it die. His mantra? Africa's problems need African solutions. No more handouts, no more foreign advisors pulling strings. He kicked out the French army, a move that sent shockwaves through the West. Then he turned to the railway, seeing it as a key to economic freedom. He didn't just talk about it, he obsessed over it. Late nights with engineers, meetings with Mali and Niger's leaders, negotiations with new partners like Russia and the BRICS nations. He even called on the African diaspora, urging them to invest in their homeland. This railway is for you, he said. Build it for your children. Money poured in, not just from governments, but from ordinary people who believed in the dream. Traoré is not perfect. Critics call him brash, authoritarian. But to millions in the Sahel, he's a hero, a man who's not just building a railway, but rebuilding a region's soul. Building the future, track by track. This isn't your average infrastructure project. The Sahel Railway is a beast, 1,200 miles of steel cutting through deserts, savannas, and mountains. It's a logistical nightmare, but the AES is tackling it with grit and ingenuity. Over 38,000 locals are on the job, welders, engineers, laborers, each one a cog in a machine of change. Take Ali, a young man from a Mali village. A year ago, he was jobless, staring at a bleak future. Now he's welding tracks, earning a paycheck, and feeling like he's part of something bigger. Multiply Ali's story by 38,000, and you've got an army of builders reshaping the Sahel. The railway's design is as bold as its vision. It's green, powered by solar farms that harness the Sahel's endless sun. No diesel, no dependence on foreign fuel. Just clean energy for a clean future. Local materials like cement and stone keep costs down and boost local businesses. And the route? It's a middle finger to the old colonial powers, bypassing foreign control ports for a new AES-owned hub on the Atlantic. The impact? Transformative. For Mariam, the mango farmer, it means her fruit reaches markets fresh, fetching prices that can send her kids to school. For miners, it means more profits stay local, funding hospitals and roads. For villagers along the route, it means new factories, shops, and jobs. The railway isn't just moving goods, it's moving the Sahel toward prosperity. A railway with a soul. This isn't just about steel and concrete. The Sahel Railway is a love letter to the region's culture. Every station is a masterpiece, reflecting the people it serves. In Burkina Faso, stations draw from mossy architecture, with curved walls and intricate patterns that whisper of ancient kings. In Mali, they echo Dogon designs, with roofs shaped like granaries and carvings of celestial myths. In Niger, they are open and airy, celebrating the pastoral traditions of the grasslands. These aren't just stops, they are cultural landmarks. The trains themselves are moving galleries. Murals by local artists adorn the carriages, depicting queens, farmers, and the builders of today. Announcements come in local languages, Bambara, Fulfulde, Zama, alongside French, a nod to the people who've been ignored too long. And as the train rolls, passengers hear stories from village elders, tying the journey to the land's history. It's a railway that doesn't just carry people, it carries their pride, shaking up the world. When the AES announced a railway, the world took notice. France, the old colonial heavyweight, was stunned. For decades, it had controlled the Sahel's trade through its ports and companies. Now, 3 upstart nations were building their own path to the sea, cutting France out. The West cried foul, warning of economic collapse, but the AES didn't care. They were done playing by someone else's rules. Instead, they forged new alliances. Russia offered engineering expertise, Iran shared solar tech, and BRICS nations opened their bank vaults. The AES played it smart, avoiding the trap of swapping one master for another. They wanted partners, not bosses. The message was clear: we're open for business, but on our terms. The groundbreaking ceremony was electric. Captain Traoré stood before a roaring crowd, flanked by Mali and Niger's leaders. "We're not pieces on someone else's board anymore," he declared. "We're the players now." The crowd erupted, and the first tracks were laid, a bold line in the sand, a promise of a new Sahel. The road ahead. The railway isn't finished yet. There are hurdles, funding gaps, technical challenges, political pushback. But the Sahel's leaders aren't backing down. They've got a vision, a plan, and a fire in their bellies. For Mariam, Ali, and millions like them, this railway is more than infrastructure. It's a lifeline. It's proof that the Sahel can rise, not by begging for help, but by building its own future. This is a Sahel's iron dream, a revolution on rails, a story of defiance, unity, and hope. As the tracks stretch toward the sea, they carry a message to the world. The Sahel is done waiting. It's time to roll.